Dear Kashmir Crown viewers, you are welcome to our special report on elections. Nowadays, it is tough time for political activities as Kashmir is again on boil post Chadura killings. Today, Kashmir shuts again over 3 killings in Chadura, but other hand election campaigning is also going on. In Anantnag, as per my reporters, there is straight competition and fight between Mr. Tasaduk from People's Democratic Party and Congress President Mr. G.A. Mir. Now joining me is Mr. Tasaduk, who is son of late Mufti and brother of Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Ms. Mehbooba Mufti, who is in fray and fighting against Congress President Ghulam Ahmed Mir for Lok Sabha from South Kashmir.
Mr. Tasaduk, first question from my side. What made you to come into politics of Kashmir? Was it death of your father or any other dream?
Well, it's a dream to see a better Kashmir.
Yes.
That was his dream too, and that's my dream too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Tasaduk, your party seems to be a failure when it comes to peace and prosperity of the state. Particularly, Mr. Tasaduk, your father was also speaking about the peace initiatives in particularly in Jammu and Kashmir. So, why your party seems to be failing?
That depends on what you would call a failure. How would you define being a failure?
No, I want you to elaborate it.
In a complex situation like this, it is hard to define what a failure is and what a success is. I think inherently there is a certain amount of sincerity in wanting to handle this complex situation that takes a new turn and evolves into a new thing every passing year. And so there is a technical side to things.
Right.
And there is also an administrative side to things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to manage the balance is not an easy task.
Right.
And I think there have been a certain amount of successes.
Right.
And possibly a certain number of failures. And I can only answer these questions once I'm inside the system, where I'm better able to understand the workings of the system.
Okay.
Right now, my point of view is possibly that of an outsider, very much like you.
Right.
So till we don't work in the system from the inside, I think would be naive to comment on these things.
Okay. Mr. Tasaduk, another question. South Kashmir is on boil. Don't you think that you being strong voice, why you not openly tell union government to go for dialogue, irrespective of its conditions?
I think more than the union government, I think we also need to have a dialogue with our young boys,
Okay.
young boys and girls actually, those affected the most, and find out why they're disillusioned. And I think lots of streams of thoughts and lots of different people need to come in, whether that be sociology, counselors, NGOs who can doing this kind of work, and also it has to be something sustainable. We need to find out that whatever money that is coming in, how it makes its way into capacity building, true capacity building amongst the young.
Okay.
And give them vent for their creativity. This is something that we need to think about. I think before, and I always been saying that before we have larger discussions,
Okay.
we need to have discussions on ground and understand our ground realities. But these again are my viewpoints as a PDP member.
Okay.
And I think these again something that I would be able to put to practice in a major way or understand the complexities once I'm a part of the system.
Mm-hmm.
But that dialogue should be had first. Before any other dialogue, you need to understand your own people. You need to understand the people who are most affected. You can't ignore the core of a problem. You can't ignore something that is so central and have peripheral discussions. So while I understand the greater need for a larger dialogue, I think this is also an important dialogue, and this is what we must begin with.
Okay. Mr. Tasaduk, do you think that Abdullahs have not understood the people of Kashmir?
Well, I think they have tried to understand as much as anyone else, the people of Kashmir, and I'm sure they've had their successes and their failures. And so to say that they are less genuine in their concern or less sincere would be wrong. It would be a wrong comment to make. And to comment on how their ways, it's the I would say, again, naive and immature to comment on someone else's predicament or their own challenges without stepping into the challenge yourself and taking it on head on yourself.
Okay. Mr. Tasaduk, you being young, do you endorse BJP policies in Uttar Pradesh and at national level?
Well, again, I possibly, I for now would want to focus on our own reality, and I need to make comments about...
No, you being LI, that's why I'm asking this specific question.
Come again, please?
You being ally of BJP, that's why I'm asking this specific question to you.
Well, you know, the fact is that when I'm a fresh politician, you know, I'm very new to the game.
Okay.
And I think before I make any comprehensive comments and before I discuss strategies outside of Kashmir, I think I need to really understand what is going on ground here. And I think if I'm able to focus on that, our own needs and realities and our own challenges, I think that would possibly suffice before I start making comments on broader issues and broader, you know, ways of going forward when the whole nation is concerned. I think we should all stick to little things.
Okay.
Before we start commenting on larger issues.
Mr. Tasaduk, one personal question. Do you feel scared of the situation in South Kashmir, particularly the civilian killings yesterday in Chadura? You know, your campaign is going on. So what is the feeling?
It is a genuine concern. It has to be a genuine concern, not to me, to every citizen, every state subject.
Okay.
This is something that must concern everyone at their own level, individual level, and we all must think of how to address it. Whether that be teachers in schools, whether it be us in families, whether it be about talking to kids, we must take that greater responsibilities and start addressing this maturely. All of us, not just me.
Okay.
And that includes the press as well.
Mr. Tasaduk, how do you find your competition in South Kashmir?
I think my competition is with myself.
Thanks, Mr. Tasaduk, for speaking over various issues about your political career. Thanks, Kashmir Crown viewers, for watching this broadcast. For up-to-minute update in Jammu and Kashmir, your search and share.